by KIMIKO, to FREYTAS-TAMURA and ALISSA, J. RUBIN. March 23, 2016. Brussels. Two bombers who carried out deadly attacks on Tuesday at Brussels airport have been identified as brothers with criminal records. Public broadcasters in Belgium reported on Wednesday. The brothers were identified as Khalid el-Bakraoui, 27, and Ibrahim el-Bakraoui, 30, whom the police had been seeking since the March 15 raid on an apartment in the Forest district of Brussels, the radio station RTBF reported, citing police sources. At least one of the brothers is believed to have died in the attacks at the airport. A third attacker has not been publicly identified and was still at large. Belgian news outlets reported that a police operation was underway on Wednesday in the Anderlecht neighborhood of Brussels. Two police officers there said that an arrest had been made. The identity of the person who was arrested was not immediately clear. Since Friday, Belgian authorities have been searching for Najim Laachraoui, a suspect who has been linked to the Paris attacks in November. Whether Mr. Laachraoui was the man recorded with the Bakraoui brothers by a security camera at Brussels airport on Tuesday is not clear. Frédéric Van Leeuw, the Belgian federal prosecutor, is scheduled to give another briefing on Wednesday. Many questions remained unanswered. Did the attacks relate to the capture on Friday of Salah Abdeslam, the sole surviving member of the team directly involved in the deadly attacks in and around Paris on November 13? What additional attacks are the Islamic State, which claimed responsibility for the Tuesday assaults, planning? And if the Bakraoui brothers have been wanted since the March 15 raid, as several Belgian news outlets reported last week, why did the authorities not issue a most wanted alert asking for the public's help in finding them? Khalid el-Bakraoui is believed to have rented the apartment in Forest under a false name, as well as one in Charleroi, Belgium. The raid in Forest turned up fingerprints belonging to Mr. Abdeslam. Ibrahim el-Bakraoui was sentenced to 9 years in prison in 2010 after shooting at police officers following an attempted robbery of a currency exchange office. In 2011, Khalid el-Bakraoui was sentenced to 5 years in prison for attempted carjackings. At the time of his arrest, he had been in possession of assault rifles. The attacks on Tuesday, on Brussels airport and the Maelbeek subway station in Brussels, killed at least 30 people. A day earlier, the Belgian authorities identified Mr. Laachraoui, a 24-year-old Belgian citizen, as an accomplice of Mr. Abdeslam and enlisted the public's help in finding him. Mr. Laachraoui went to Syria in February 2013, and, using the name Soufiane Kayal, was one of two men using fake Belgian identification cards who were with Mr. Abdeslam in a Mercedes on Sept. 9 as they passed through a checkpoint between Hungary and Austria. Mr. Laachraoui was also carrying a fake Syrian identification card. Mr. Laachraoui is now being sought as the possible bomb maker. His DNA was found on at least one of the suicide belts used in the Paris attacks and at a house in the Maelbeek district of Brussels, according to Claude Moniquet, a former intelligence official in France and the co-founder of a Belgium-based think tank, the European Strategic Intelligence and Security Center, in Maelbeek. The police found traces of the explosive TATP and believe suicide vests may have been assembled there, he said. The Belgian federal prosecutor's office said that a raid Tuesday afternoon in Maelbeek turned up an explosive device and chemical products. But it was not immediately clear if TATP was among them. Speaking on La Première Radio on Wednesday morning, Interior Minister Jan Jambon said that police raids would continue, and that the threat status would remain at its highest level. There are many hypotheses to put on the table, he said. It's up